Hello everyone, my name is Chris. In this video we will go over the easiest yet most effective way to dominate your ranked tournaments as the light class in the finals. I will talk about the most optimal team composition for playing light, best weapons, gadgets and abilities to use, how to position yourself, how to properly time your engage, how to properly rotate with the team, correct way to fight for an objective or a desired position, how to defend the cashout, how to steal the cashout, and then we'll go for some useful tips and tricks here and there to help you win more duels and stay useful throughout the match. If this video is gonna get 1000 likes, I'm gonna start working on beginner tips for the finals. There will be at least 50 of them. Let's get started. Before we begin with the guide, I'd like to warn you that the current Season 1 state light class has to be the most pathetic and miserable state the light class has ever been due to a massive utility and weapon nerf. This role has an incredibly high skill floor and skill ceiling, to the point where you have to be an extraordinary player from the start to have mediocre results that you would have gotten with zero experience on medium, as well as you have to suffer and spend a few hundreds of hours constantly dying, losing games that you should have won, losing teammates because they lost faith in you, tilting, burning out, saying to yourself that you would never ever play the freaking light role again, just to play the light role 2 days later and continue the vicious cycle. Right now, the game revolves around high sustain, medium, heavy composition, where you are quite literally holding hands together, supporting each other, and keeping everyone alive and healthy with defibs, shield, bubble, and healing beams. You always have an artificial cover to hide behind you, and if you've made a positional mistake, or simply lost your 1v1 duel, your team can always back you up with a shield plus instant defib res combination, followed by a quick healing beam to get you back on track. For 99% of you guys watching this video, the medium heavy composition is going to be the most optimal, and it's exceptionally easy to use, meaning that you will be able to play more games, you will have more fun, you will lose less, and it's not as reliant on the perfect execution and the correct engage timing as the light medium heavy composition that we will talk right now. A light medium heavy setup has to be the only way to make the light role work as of right now, because you need both strong point presence as well as the ability to keep your teammates alive and healthy. You can still make any composition work in publics, as people will never punish you for the major mistakes you are making, and that's exactly the reason you never understand that something is fundamentally wrong. You understand it only when you get absolutely devoured by the people that are playing correct compositions that are absolutely countering your composition. I also need to add that this game is very heavily team play oriented, and you absolutely need to find good players in a competitive Discord, so 3 of you can discuss strategies in real time, 3-to-1 your engages, and use the windows of opportunities that are created either by your team proper ability usage and effective damage trade-offs, or major positional or mechanical mistakes by opponents. I'm gonna leave a link to competitive Discord where you can verify yourself, prove that you are a gamer, and find good teammates. When we talk about best performing weapons for the light class, it's important to fundamentally understand why some of them are completely terrible and unplayable. So you are very squishy and you want to deal high amounts of burst damage while keeping the distance between you and the enemies, because I don't think there is any light in this game that would want to brawl a heavy with a shotgun, RPG, or an explosive barrel with 2 C4s attached. There are also gas mines, explosive mines, gas grenades, frag grenades that are casually ending up at my feet every single time I personally play light. I'm pretty sure that's happening to you as well. So it already takes every single melee weapon out of equation due to the nature of the game. Top it off with an easy to track character model and very limited amounts of movement while you are scoped and dueling, and you have a perfect candidate for the next 007 James Bond movie. You also want your weapon to be consistent and easy to use, at the same time. And realistically speaking, we are left with two options. It's either going to be a shotgun or an MP5. I personally think that shotgun is better due to the fact that it's so much easier to use it. You can quite literally double tap any character in a game, press your invisibility, reload, and repeat the process until you die from another random something that has never meant to hit you, but hit you anyway. While MP5 is better on paper, for the majority of the player base this weapon is way too difficult to use, especially when everything is blowing up and you have 90 FPS, your mousepad is dirty, you haven't been training your aim in ages. Pick the shotgun. When we talk about best abilities for the light class, I feel like invisibility has to be the winner by far, because both grapple and dash are providing you with some movement, but at the end of the day you want to be unexpected. You want to be a scout and a silent assassin. I can't imagine a situation where I am grappling onto 3 players and not dying within a millisecond after I'm in their line of sight. I can't imagine the situation where a talented light player with invis will not be able to track me down after I used 3 of my dashes to escape him. It's very, very difficult to compete with invisibility for what it does to you. Majority of light players never get any major value in teamfights and usually go alone and die in the middle of 3 teams just to coin back 25 seconds later and repeat the process again. And it usually happens when they don't have invisibility. They can't set up, but we'll talk about it in later chapters of this guide. Light class gadgets are very interesting. You can't enable your team with movement or heals like a medium class would do. You can't protect and tank damage like a heavy would do, but you still need to be useful in a fight. And you do that by picking up a glitch grenade, a stun gun, a frag grenade, or a gas grenade, depending on how you feel about them. Frag grenade is better because there is no friendly fire, enemies can't see the warning sign, and they will never be able to shield against it and just gonna blow up from cringe as a result. Let's quickly talk about how to use glitch and frag. Best way to do it is to throw one and then throw another after it. You do it by canceling your animation, because it feels like there is just so much downtime on your glitch plus glitch combination. It just takes an inhuman amount of time to pull the second glitch grenade out for some reason. If you are playing from above, you can always right-click your nades if, let's say, they are stealing the cashout or just fighting below you. Your glitch grenade will apply silence effect and destroy bubbles and shields, but you need to throw the glitch grenade at the heavy player that placed the bubble, because glitching the bubble without glitching the heavy will not do anything as a result. Stun gun got heavily nerfed, and I highly advise you to choose medium or light characters as your potential victims, because every single time I stun the heavy, dude just turns around 180 and 2-taps me with the shotgun after I leave him with 1 HP after my 2-tap with my shotgun, because his is obviously so much bigger than mine. I guess that's just a skill issue. You can scope your stun gun for a moment to get a better accuracy on a target that's relatively far from you, and in later chapters I'm gonna explain when, how, and where you should use your utility items to get the full potential. Positioning and timings in the finals are far more important than flashy aim. It doesn't matter how good of an aimer you are when you are going in 1 versus 10 and dying. It doesn't matter how good your tracking was if you are shooting the guy with a shield, or he's constantly getting mercy pocketed by the medium. If you are at the wrong place at the wrong time, you're gonna die, or even worse, remain useless. If you are approaching early, everyone will turn around and shoot your 150 HP small fragile light body. If you are approaching late, your team is already at a severe disadvantage, because they have to spend offensive cooldowns trying to protect themselves, because there is not enough sustain with single medium, and they are forced to play in a bad position because of you. And even if you somehow win the fight because enemy players played bad, don't forget that there are third parties, don't forget that there are fourth parties, and yeah, that's gonna be rough, man. Ideally, you want to use your heavy player as a shark bait. He's going to be the one that has to start the fight, or at least make them think that he is starting the fight. Maybe he shoots in their direction, maybe he puts up a bubble, maybe he uses a taunt, and he's like, look at me, I am here. It's infinitely easier to glitch, stun, and frag people when they are semi-stationary, scoping, zoned in on your heavy player, while you are setting up behind them and preparing your sneaky beaky assassination. The major problem with most light players I see is that they think they can get away with dying, especially dying alone in the middle of 3 teams fighting, while you are protecting a cashout on the other side of the map. How many times you saw your light player running to the other cashout on the other side of the map, dies there, and now you are getting completely cooked 2 versus 3. And there are always 6 more Pepega players on the enemy teams that would gladly sacrifice their life and qualification spot just to party poop and grieve your cash out. And your guy is coining 30 seconds later, he's late to the fight, he's late everywhere, and you are losing because of him. Don't be that guy. When we talk about the scout role, you still want to play close to your medium and heavy so you can receive healing and protection while helping your team with finishing off low HP targets, because at the end of the day, even if they run AK plus Lewis gun, you still need to do some damage in order to help them to soften up squishes and make them finish them off. It's also a lot easier to time your engages and be efficient, because if you die 50 meters away, both of your medium and heavy are gonna be forced to waste their cooldowns defensively just to have a net negative situation as a result. You guys now are out of position, you don't have any offensive cooldowns, and most importantly, you don't have any time to steal or defend the cash out. Tragedy, to say the least. When it comes to your glitch and frag usage, you want to set them up as your team goes in, because if you don't finish your targets, they tend to get healed or escape. Imagine the situation where you are approaching a medium heavy composition in a close quarter environment. One glitch and a frag will drastically change the amount of time and resources that you and your team would have to spend fighting them. They will not be able to use the shield, bubble, or an RPG. They will not be able to heal each other. They will not be able to use the jump pad or a zipline to escape. And now imagine that you glitched and naded all of them, but approach 7 seconds later. Everyone is full HP, Heavy is looking at you behind with a bubble with an RPG and his hand and smiling, because he knows that you've wasted your perfect window of opportunity and you are an idiot. You know that he knows that you've wasted your perfect window of opportunity and you are an idiot. And if I were to be you, I would be a little bit sad in that situation. And of course, don't forget about third parties and fourth parties. The longer it takes for you to kill the first team, more time second and third team will have to completely cook you on a point after, because you are gonna be exhausted, out of cooldowns, out of position. Yeah, very bad. Sometimes you just have the option to glitch and frag due to the map layout or other factors such as high ground advantage when they are above you, or your team inability to catch up and start the fight in time while you see a prey, a slow gazelle that you can actually eat alive while no one is looking at you. It's very important to be patient, gather information, and try to pick off a medium or a light player that's out of position with a quick invis, stun, double shotgun, invis combination. Perhaps you would also want to cancel the resurrect with a glitch grenade if you are smart about it. So what do you do after that? You just play safe in a 3 versus 2 situation. Your team has massive advantage and you just have fun playing against the medium or distracting the heavy while your team is tearing them apart. See you in the next one. Take care.